Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in less than 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Well, let's jump right into it. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Tyrone Grandison. I'm a computer science and data scientist, and my work is at the intersection of technology, data, and social good. And what I do is that I help policymakers, leaders, and companies create more effective tech and data products, and also create better, more effective policies, programs, using and including community insight and also coaching.
That's fantastic. I love that. Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
The best thing for me, and I'm very biased here, is communication. It's the conversation with someone else, the free flow of ideas where you have different perspectives, people from different backgrounds that allow you to actually see a different side of a particular issue, allows you to hopefully develop more empathy and make a project or deliverable even better than you could ever imagine. So in a cliche, it's basically the fact that the sum of everything is greater than the individual parts once you get that team gelled and trusting each other.
That's great. Love that. Thank you. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts on that.
So engagement, I think, is a function of multiple things, right? It's a function of motivation, mission, impact, passion / compassion, right? And the thing that I normally do when I'm hiring a team or when I'm getting onto a team is figure out like what makes my team members tick. Like what motivates them, what drives them, how do they like to be provided feedback, how do they like to be thanked or rewarded, right? And then kind of like allowing them to see how their work like contributes towards the greater mission of the team itself and of the company. And of course, I'm assuming that they're bought into the company's mission because that's why they're there. If they're not, then that's a different discussion that I need to have. And are they really passionate about one, what they're doing and how they apply their skills to the mission itself? And two, do they have like compassion or empathy for the other people, right? So my teams normally are tech and data teams, but I interface with like the entire spectrum, right? Everything from legal, business development, you name it, like the department, we interface with it. So having a team member that can actually see the perspective of other different divisions and groups, like I try to bring that across like really clearly. And I think once we have alignment and at least like the passion, compassion portion and the motivation, then to me, you can turn anyone who's like engaged or not engaged into like the next step, even more engaged, or to the point where they're just like, yes, I love to be here. I love this team.
That's great information. Question number 4, what other successful team leaders, such as yourself, should be on my podcast?
The two that I've stuck out so far over the last like 4 years have been Andrew Godby here, who was a colleague of mine at U Group, which is a DC company that does some work with the Department of Defense. And he had an amazing way of connecting to people, both on intellectual level, but on a level that actually like says to them that, hey, you're a human being. I get your struggles. I connect with you. I see you as a whole person coming in here, right? And the next person is Maisha Gatson, who's the CEO of Pearl Long-Term Care Solutions, who has an amazing ability to just get people on the same page, no matter where they're coming from beforehand.
Those sound like great recommendations, great people, so thank you. Question number 5, what piece of advice would you give to other professionals who are leading teams?
So the one thing that always struck me and that I strive for myself is imagine your worst team lead or your worst boss ever, right? What did you want from that person, right? How do you want to actually like make sure that you got the boss that you deserved when you were actually like in a team? So that's what I actually do. It's like, what do I need to be to actually provide my team members with exactly what they need such that they have not only autonomy, but they have support from me whenever they actually need it. So like be the boss that you never had is my thing.
Great
um,
suggestion.
yeah. And then my thing always came back to like, I wanted a boss that created a high trust team that had clarity around what we're doing and how it tied into the greater mission. And that showed like directly how my work impacted that mission. And also just like high transparency. Like I think we as team leaders have a tendency to hide a little bit too much, assuming that we're protecting people. And I think if you actually view it as more of an opportunity to collaborate and as a team building exercise, you can have people that are completely bought in with you being transparent and helping you to solve problems.
That's great information. Thank you. Great insights, great advice. Well, final question. Tell us about your first job.
So this is a difficult one because I do not remember a time where I haven't been working. And I grew up in like a geeky era. So like my first job was randomly coding up small business solutions for a movie rental company or a video rental company back in the days when Fox Pro was a thing, and
I
and
remember.
Basic was yeah, and Basic was the language of the day. So yeah, that was probably my first job.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Well, thank you so much, Tyrone, for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Well, you can technically find me on LinkedIn. So linkedin.in /T Grandison, I believe. My website is tyronegrandison.org, and my Twitter handle is TYRGR. Yep, that's how you can find me.
Great. Thank you. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast. For more ideas, you can find us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great day.